Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women. Wardrobe provided by Bahari Bahamas. Visit shopbahari.com.
For united we stand, divided we fall. And if our back should ever be against the wall, we'll be together, together, you and I. For united we stand, divided we fall. And if our back should ever be against the wall, we'll be together, together, you and I. Oh.
That have decided to come together, unite, to try to disrupt this political system under which we find ourselves today. They are representing let me make sure I get this right now, the coalition of third parties. The coalition of third parties. We have two representatives here today. Paul Rolle, who is the leader of the Coalition to Save Our Bahamas and director of the Coalition of Third Parties, and Dwayne Huyler, national chairman of the Bahamas Constitution Party and chairman of the Coalition of Parties. Let's get these gentlemen into the stream. Let's see, gentlemen. Okay, you're now on the stream. Welcome to GPS.
Welcome. Happy to be
Thank
here.
you, Michelle, and good day, Bahamas.
Yeah, same to me. Good day, Michelle, and good day, Bahamas.
Okay, so there's been a little bit, there's some confusion now. I ain't gonna lie. When Mr. Rolle, Pastor Rolle started reaching out to me about this whole thing, I'm like, you know what? I was confused. Because on the one hand, we're hearing that you have a coalition of independents, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, is this a group of independents? Is this a political party? What's going on? And then Pastor Rolle reaches out to me about saying, I want to get this coalition. I'm like, you know what? Not today.
Okay.
Not today.
Right.
And then Dwayne called me and he explained. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Pastor Rolle, I have to apologize to you. Because initially I was just like, okay, I can't get mixed up in this. I really don't intend to get mixed up in this because I thought you wanted me to come and host some event. And I'm like, no. How about no? Like Adrian was saying.
Yeah.
But after
Okay.
Dwayne called and explained, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I have these gentlemen here today representing the coalition of third parties. So gentlemen, welcome to the show. Why did you all, how many parties are involved in this? And why did you all decide to come together to try to dismantle the system that has been governing this nation for decades?
Well, Michelle, I'll do my best to explain it to you because I was at it from 2007. All right. And well, we know that the two major parties has not done the Bahamas well. But as a member of the BDM in 2007, we didn't win. As a matter of fact, not one candidate win. I was kind of Ricky-ish because I got into politics like late 1999. Omar Smith invited me over as the chairman of the DNA. Then in 2012, I was still with them, but I think they ended up joining with the F&M. The Right Honorable Hubert Ingram was the prime minister, and I thought that maybe 6 people was promised candidate to be a candidate, but only Cassius George run in Bamboo Town, and he lost to Renwood Wells because he was a PLP. So at that time, I recognized that small parties has no chance to win. So I went with Paul Moss and Glenn Rolle, who you were talking about. We formed a party called the PDP, the People Deliverance Party. But that fell apart because we had too much egos involved and people wasn't willing to work together. 2017, I run with Wesley Campbell, the BNCP, the Bahamas National Coalition Party. We still didn't win. So if I gonna run out there, and like I see a lot of small groups are saying they gonna run 39. Michelle, I don't want disencourage anybody, but it's ludicrous to believe that you could run 39 candidates against the two major party, and most of these individuals are financially strapped. Just to see the posters the F&M is putting up now, is scary for some of the newcomers. We have a lot of intelligent people out there, Michelle, and but they are Ricky politicians.
What you mean by that? What is it? What is a rookie politician?
Well, they just didn't have the experience, Michelle.
Oh, rookie politician.
Yeah.
Oh, you say Ricky? I was like,
oh, well, I'm a Bahamian, all right. But yeah. But yeah. So what's going on is that when they launch their party and they get 30,000 viewers, I could win. And then their mind start to shift. And then they believe that they could be the superior leader. I was like that in 2007. I went to some house through Engliston. The lady tell me a roof need to be fixed, and that cost $5,000. Another lady show me a wooden house up the Bell course. Say if I could complete that for $30,000, I got 14 votes. Another lady show me a gas tank. Say she need gas and stove. So the end of the day is you campaign as best as you can. But the end of the day, when you see the two mega parties come together, they got special interests. That's why we're in trouble. When you see certain people, like right now, the F&M, there's a couple of things they doing that they gonna get financed. I think this drug law bill that they trying to pass, I want to talk about that a little bit, and other things that special interests make contribution to the major parties. So when they win, then they do some things that don't benefit the Bahamian public at large. So when they crank up, and if you don't have a good issue and you're not united to show the people that you're a strong third option, it's like, the possibility is very dull for you. Because I did it 3 times, and that's experience. Now, the young, intelligent, some of them are pastors, like Glenn Rolle, he was along with us in the beginning.
So I'm confusing you with when I said pastor, I'm confusing you with somebody else?
Yes.
Okay, my apologies.
That's okay, but Glenn was with me, and let's say he kind of, not deserted, but he chose to go his own way. Now he creating something else again. But that's good. If we could set the presidents and others could go there and galvanize some people, and we could bring them all together. The door's still open.
Okay.
We're not closing no doors.
Okay, so let's get Dwayne in on this conversation now.
Yeah.
Mr. Huyler, welcome to the show, and I know you are with Ali McIntosh's party. What made you? How many parties are involved in this coalition, and what made you guys decide to come together? I know I just heard what Mr. Rolle had to say as it relates to understanding that these little small parties can't stand alone. So why did you guys? Because Ali's party has been around for quite a long time now. So what made you decide that what, it's time for us to unite together with other parties?
Okay, good day once again, Bahamas. Well, we know that in unity there is strength. Each party has its own platform, agenda, they have their own team, but still the resources tend to be small in comparison to what you're going up against. In terms of human resources, the capacity to put a full slate of candidates on the ballot is enough of a challenge. Even other than the two major parties, every other party has experienced challenges just putting the team together. Then other than the team, now you're looking at the resources in terms of the financial resources to market the party and to get your message out there. So, like you said, I am actually the chairman of the Bahamas Constitution Party, whose leader is Sherelle Ali McIntosh.
Right.
We're talking about a 20-year work, believe it or not. Now, Ms. McIntosh is not only a politician, she's a nation builder. Let me focus on the question at hand with the parties involved, and I'll just get back to the Bahamas Constitution Party standpoint. You're asking how many parties are involved and why did we seek to come together? It was what I was speaking to, the limited resources. If you pool resources, then you stand a greater chance. Shared space, shared resources in terms of printing material, even the paraphernalia when the time comes. You can share the expense and you can put up a stronger fight. Now, what is interesting about it is that Mr. Paul Rolle here, even though he has been having off and on conversations with other parties, including the Bahamas Constitution Party, there's been a consistent conversation for over 6 months of 3 parties, then it grew to 5, then it grew to 7, and then we started to get the attention of other persons because this has never been done before. This approach has never been done before. And even though we are still in the embryonic stage, we're just at the beginning of the coalition talks, it still is having a great impact in terms of now we hear other individuals as of late. I laughed and I told Paul, I think it has something to do with Valentine's Day. I think February caused the parties to start falling in love with one another because it's a lot of jockeying for position behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of questionable behavior behind the scenes. But boy, when Valentine's Day came around, everybody starts sprucing up, looking a little nicer, one another. The 2 women that are leading political organizations right now, not only S. Ali McIntosh, but Ms. Orinthia Komalafi, I don't say it to anybody's discredit, but I'm saying that some of the larger parties have just gotten the epiphany or the revelation, and it really, when you check the record or when you look into media, you weren't hearing coalition discussed until February 2021. This is late in the game. This is very late.
Very late.
Well, we were hearing coalition, but coalition of independence, which is kind of confusing to me.
Well,
So do you mind telling us specifically which parties are involved in your coalition?
okay.
Can you list them off for us?
Okay. So we have the Coalition to Save the Bahamas. We have the Bahamas Constitution Party. We have the People's National Coalition. We have the Bahamas National Coalition Party. We have the Kingdom Government Movement. We have the Grand Commonwealth Party, who's at the table for talks. Let me be clear to say that there's no firm commitment. We have a memorandum of understanding on the table between us. No firm commitment to join and amalgamate into one to form a government at the stage while I'm talking to you. There's no commitment to say, you know what, the snap election called in 1 month, we'll all become one and come under one symbol. No, that has not taken place yet. But what we are doing is we are gaining a greater understanding of one another's platform, vision, team. This is the new Bahamas, the ability to hear one another, even if you disagree, to hear one another, to understand one another and what the other person brings to the table. Because every party has a strength, and believe it or not, it's not the same as the other party. So the parties that I've named are the ones sitting at the table. Now, I'll go ahead and say by name another friend of ours that supports the move, but not necessarily sitting at the table, is Mr. Paul Moss, who has also been in the fight for a long time.
Yes, and also the BNCP and also the DNA. We are communicating with them also.
Okay, so what do you hope to accomplish at the end of the day? Because Mr. Rolle would have said earlier that a small party trying to put up 39 candidates is crazy. So what is your end game goal? What do you hope to achieve by bringing all of these parties to the table?
Okay, I'll answer that. What I'm going to do, Michelle, I'm going to try to be short and sweet, but direct.
Okay.
With a factual understanding. The biggest democracy and the democratic country in the world is the United States. So what I'm gonna just take a page out of the last election. The Democrats running for candidate for the presidency of the United States, you had, I think it was 16 of them, maybe 17. Bernie Sanders took it by storm. Individually, he was kingpin. I mean, he had the students with the student loan, health care for everybody, free education. But the establishment wanted Joe Biden. All right. So the last couple of polling states, Bernie Sanders was leading. Then Claiborne and Black Caucuses and all of Barack Obama them endorsed Joe Biden, and he started taking off. Then he reached back. You know what he said to the other 15 candidates for presidency? He said, join me, and when I win, we would work out some understanding for some ministry in the government. Joe Biden said that, and then Bernie Sanders said that. But unfortunately, Bernie Sanders get Bloomberg, the billionaire, and maybe one other person. 14 people joined Joe Biden, and like Bernie Sanders didn't exist no more. Zoom! On the day Joe Biden is president. That's a democratic country or democratic system working to the fullest. If some of these people could drop their little egotistical attitude and recognize that, hey, keep your eye on the prize. The prize is the future, our kids, and to save our country from the two countries that bring us right down to almost the bottom of the ground.
You mean the two parties?
The two political parties. So if we could ever hold hands together, like Mr. Huyler said, that was never done before, people would recognize we got something different and we got to try this.
But
so that's what you're trying to do.
This has traditionally been, ever since I know myself, a two-party system. People say they're tired of this one and they bring in the next one, and then they're tired of that one and they go back to the next one. So how do you, and y'all should know better than me because y'all been in this game a long time and y'all see the trends. I mean, oftentimes people who go in contesting seats from small parties don't even get their deposit back.
Correct.
Because all Bahamians see is PLP or FNM. That's all they see. That's all they know. How do you anticipate what is your plan to break that tradition of this being strictly a two-party system?
Okay, what I would say is this to you, Michelle. We don't have the monies and we don't have the special interests like the two-party system. All the big investors goes to the two-party system because they guaranteed whenever they donate to these major parties, they're going to get their kickback. But at the end of the day, if you remember when Lyndon Pillin went, he had no money like the UPP, but he was able to get the majority. And that's what we're going to do. You got to have different people bring different, that's why you're bringing different parties together. Lincoln Bain is doing with the natural resources. The godfather of the natural resources is Mr. Wesley Campbell, the BNCP. Then you have Micklin Seymour. He have a video on the natural resources that'll blow your mind. Then you have Prescott Smith. But Lincoln Bain is doing good PR, and I support Lincoln Bain because I think I brought him into politics.
So is Lincoln's movement a part of this coalition?
No, but the end of the day is if we build the right foundation, and that's what we're creating, we are dealing with people who are well known, and we even looking at some of the member of parliaments that didn't get nominated that have experience. We are bringing them in too, so people could see something solid that they could follow. So you can't bring a bunch of good, intelligent people, but they're not well known, because people could say, well, I don't know if I could trust the country with them. So we're looking at maybe 5, 6, or 7 former member of parliament who was very voices and did some good in the past.
Okay, Dwayne, I see you anxious to jump in. Let's hear from you.
Yeah.
Well, the significance of the work that we are doing is that unity will attract others. Just the solidarity, the coming together for a worthy cause. And everybody knows that there's a worthy cause here. We're talking about better governance for the Bahamas, internally as well as externally. Those that have assessed our governments, and I'm talking about successive governments, so not just one or the other. Both are on a moral decline. Both are on an international decline in terms of, there's something called, for example, the Perception of Corruption Index. If you look at that index, for over 20 years, every new prime minister in the Bahamas has moved the needle deeper into corruption. So let's just look at the last 3 prime ministers. It is a fact that on the world stage, the financial sector, as well as the government sector, international governments, look at the Bahamas, and every time we get a new prime minister, they make a determination that the Bahamas is becoming more corrupt. So let me back up off of that. People are looking for something new that they can believe in, that they can hope in. And I hope I'm not out of place by saying here, but one of the sitting members of parliament was asked a simple question last week. Many were asked, do you feel like you're going to receive a nomination for your party? But one particular member of parliament that is outspoken and known to speak out against what is wrong, he made the comment, well, I understand that the smaller parties are coming together, and perhaps I can get a leadership role with them. I happen to believe that he was sincere in that assertion. And we did have another former member of parliament come to sit to the table just to understand more. So we are attracting the caliber of parliamentarians that have already served the Bahamas, and they are looking for other options. So I think that is a very significant aspect to what it is we are doing. Now, they may not be attracted to a group of 10 persons that just started a party, but if there's a machinery that is in place, a team, a family that they feel like they can lend their talents, their God-given gifts to, then so be it. Let us all join hands to make the Bahamas a better place.
Mm-hmm. You know, having worked in journalism for all the years that I worked as a reporter, as a news person, I covered so many different rallies and successive elections, and I've seen it all as it relates to this political landscape that we find ourselves in. But I will tell you, I have never seen so many parties popping up. And what it tells me is that what we already know is happening on the ground, and that is that there is such discontent with the system as it exists now, that more and more people are stepping to the fore and saying, we want better, we demand better, because what we have ain't working for us. So we got to take a quick break, but on the other side of the break, I want to look at leadership qualities in terms of what we should be looking for and what we should be demanding from our leaders, and whether or not this grouping, this coalition of third parties, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh parties, whether or not you have,
It's 9.
it's 9, wow, whether or not you have in your midst the qualities that will make good leadership for this country. We're going to talk about that on the other side of the break. So stay with us. This is GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Located on Carmichael Road, Divine Designs Hair Boutique is a haven for women and men looking for professional beauty services. Our state-of-the-art contemporary equipment creates a relaxing ambiance for you to enjoy while we cater to you. Need a hairstylist? We cater to all types and textures of hair for care and styling. We even have a barber on duty. Need a nail tech? Our technicians provide a range of nail services, including the latest trends. Unwind in one of our massage chairs while you get your pedicure. With our reasonable rates, friendly staff, and over 20 years of experience, you will be in great hands. Call us at 823-1669 or 698-1025 to schedule your appointment. Wanna be pampered? Wanna be slayed? Let Divine Designs make your day.
At the Gladstone Road Farmers Market, we provide you with the freshest produce, eggs, meat, and more. But what you don't see makes a difference too, like the care our farmers put into growing and raising that food for your family, the fewer miles that food travels from the farm to your plate, and the dollars you are keeping in our local community. Our open-air market is every Friday and Saturday. Come visit us, and be sure to look for the GPS-endorsed flyer. COVID-19 has affected all of us, but it won't stop us from serving you with a smile, even under the mask. Gladstone Road Farmers Market, home of fresh. At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
And we're back. This is GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm, and my guests today are, let's bring him in the stream. Let's bring them in the stream. My guests today are Paul Rolle, the leader of the Coalition to Save Our Bahamas and director of the Coalition of Third Parties, and Dwayne Huyler, national chairman of the Bahamas Constitution Party and chairman of the Coalition of Third Parties. So we have seen a tremendous surge in terms of the interest of persons who are offering themselves up for election with the hope that they will be able to shake up the system. And I often look at many of the persons who are stepping forward, and I wonder whether or not they really have a full understanding of and appreciation for the role that a good leader should play in the development of their nation. I want to play a clip. This clip is of the lead. This is a clip about the work of the leader of New Zealand. And a lot of countries are really envious of New Zealand because of this incredible woman who is leading that country and doing a phenomenal job of it. And when you compare what is happening there and other countries as well, if we don't want to go as far as New Zealand, we can look at Barbados and the incredible job that Mia Motley is doing there. But when you compare other leaders and what they're doing in their countries to what we have in ours, clearly there's a huge void. So let's sometimes you get so used to bad treatment, you think that's normal. Let's go to this clip so we could see how leaders are supposed to be behaving during a time like this. That's clip number 1.
The whole world wants her to be their president.
If we had our president like her in the United States, the things would have been different in the world.
Americans, Asians, Africans, Australians, Europeans. People around the globe watched in admiration as this woman led her country to be COVID-free in just 7 weeks. She is one of the best politicians in the world, and if you ask me, the reason why majority of politicians are bad to their countries is because of their ego. Let me explain. This is Jacinda Ardern, the youngest world leader and the Prime Minister of New Zealand. Even though New Zealand is often left out in maps, they surely made their country very popular. New Zealand has been voted the greatest country on earth for 7 years in a row. First place when it comes to COVID-19 response.
Today there are no active cases in New Zealand.
Has the lowest unemployment rate and where racism is not tolerated.
We don't let racism exist. Let New Zealand be a place where there is no tolerance for racism, ever. And that's something we can all do.
And in New Zealand, your mental health is a priority.
The true measure of leadership is the ability to confront the anxiety of the people of their time.
It's easy to see how a good leader can change the whole nation's direction. It's amazing, but what truly sets her aside is her ability to be at her best in a time of crisis.
Just having a bit of an earthquake here, Ryan. Quite a decent shake here, but if you see things moving behind me.
New Zealand faced the hardest times within her term. Terrorist attack, volcanic eruption, global pandemic. One tragedy after another. But all of this didn't stop her from winning.
When a terrorist tried to divide us, we came together and we said, they are us. When a volcano erupted, we threw our arms around those affected, whether they were from near or far. And when COVID arrived, we didn't hesitate to act, knowing it was the only way to protect those around us.
Earlier, I said that ego is what makes politicians bad. Unfortunately, in majority of the world, politicians feel like they're above the nation. They feel untouchable. They feel too good to listen to the common people. And that is exactly why Jacinda is so different. She never puts herself first, she really listens.
If I could distill it down into one concept that we are pursuing in New Zealand, it is simple and it is this: kindness.
To her, everything in New Zealand was about collaboration, positive language, rather than an ego of a politician who thinks they're always right and know better. And that is how you establish a united nation who respects their leader and not a divided nation. New Zealanders didn't fight with themselves. They didn't fight against the government, and when tragedy struck, they listened to the rules. They believed that their government was protecting them. They believe in Jacinda because she is the president every country wants. And so let's look at this inspiring woman as an example that we all should follow. Only then we will stop wishing for a leader like Jacinda to lead our country, because we will have the government that doesn't feel better than the very people who voted for it.
We have made a choice that I am proud of, that will leave a legacy, and that I hope means the next generation will see that we in New Zealand were on the right side of history.
So there were some key takeaways from that clip. Key takeaways from me. Let me bring the gentleman back into the stream. Key takeaways from me. Number one, ego. Leaving your ego to the door. And I honestly wish that we could make it mandatory that our leaders study an example like what we just saw, right? Because these are the most egotistical people I've ever seen in my entire life. They know everything. They're above everyone. They have no kind of compassion for their people. One of the things that she said was that a good leader confronts the anxiety of their people. She didn't say a good leader inflicts anxiety on their people. I want you to understand the difference now.
Yes.
She didn't say a good leader confronts their people. She said a good leader confronts the anxiety of their people.
Yes.
So in other words, you try to minimize the anxiety, not create more anxiety for your people.
Yeah.
And when I look at the madness that we have going on in this country right now, where you got this one-man band acting like a doggone dictator in many instances. What in the world is going on? Is this all about political posturing, or is this about leadership? Because clearly, if this is what they believe is good leadership, I little worried. So, gentlemen, do you believe that you bring to the table people who understand what true leadership is, what that responsibility is, so that you ain't just coming in here to see what you could get for you and yours? We got a call coming in. Let's take the call, and then we're going to let you answer that question. Caller, welcome to GPS. You need to turn your radio down.
Good day. How are you, ma'am?
Turn your radio down, please, or whatever you're listening on. We can hear it very loud. I'm fine.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I'm listening to the program. Good day. Your show is a wonderful topic.
Thank you.
I just want to chime in and say, I've been doing some study on Sean Rochester's Google Talks. And what does that have to do with the topic today is I believe that blacks, in terms of the wealth, from a wealth standpoint from 1860, and I could basically go from 1860 up to now, and the wealth gap in contrast to every other race to us, that is in the trillions. Why is that important? Wealth equates to land. So let's talk about our hemisphere when we talk about crown land, or what do we want a government to do for us? Bohemians, I'm speaking to you all now. Do we want jobs? Do we want dibs on contracts? Or do me, as a possible single dad, single father, can I make peace by getting my 40 acres and a mule? Because if I do that, even if I don't have a job ever again in my life, at least I can leave my wealth for my children, who I've possibly never seen. But that is not possible for the black male. But what do they do? As Sean Rochester researched and said, what they did want is in 1896, they did want us to be integrated into the educational school,
okay, sir,
which at that time...
I need you to bring it back to what we're talking about today, though. I don't want you to change the subject of my show, okay?
Right.
So let's stay focused.
Right, but the main thing is wealth equates to land.
Okay.
And when it comes to the government, you can give me jobs or promises or bids or come to the rally, but at the end of the day, there's plenty land in the Bahamas and there's plenty wealth that can be given to Bahamians.
Okay.
Period.
Thank you so much for calling. Appreciate your input. Thank you so much.
All
right. Let's get back to the topic at hand. I have and I'm going to let you guys answer the question that I asked before the call. I have a text that says, Michelle, let me give your guest advice. Gentlemen, don't go down the Bahamian male ego road and fight for leadership of anything in your new organization. Allow yourselves to be chosen by others. So we go back to the question of ego. We got some huge egos. It's a wonder that they could get through the door of Parliament with their big heads that they have.
You're so right.
They're so full of themselves.
You're so right.
So what is it that you are bringing that's different from what we are seeing right now?
Michelle, what you say is so real, and you're so passionate about it, and you are right to be passionate about it. Michelle, I run as an independent, then I run with the BNCP, Mr. Wesley Campbell, who is a very intellectual person and very intelligent. But the end of the day is, I choose to create a political party so that I could have a say and hopefully bring what you are saying in the mix. If somebody come today and they show me where their hearts is, they patriotic, and they're willing to show their patriotism, and they keeping their eyes on the prize, they could be leader. Instantly, I would take a step back, because this is the only reason why I believe that this is moving forward, because everybody came to us, step away, and try to bring another little two-party here. I tell them all, it's wide open for leadership. All right? And watch what he is. He is the chairman, as director. No president or no leader, but each person comes in to our coalition, comes in as a leader. So that's the only way we could get them to come together. Because the DNA or some other party say, join me, these little parties ain't gonna join. But if you let them kind of satisfy the ego a bit, and they come eventually, what we are doing now, me and the chairman now, we going out, we going to support the farmers, the first responders, and we doing our videos, and that getting the attention of people. And we want to deal with all major issues as a unit, and people would see where your heart's at. And eventually there would be a snap convention, and that leader will be chosen by his wakes.
Allow me to comment and say for Paul, who just spoke, that Paul's organization as an individual, see, he don't even like me to say it. No. The Coalition to Save Our Bahamas, his organization could not attract virtually all of the other political entities if it wasn't a matter of laying down the ego and say, gentlemen, let's talk. Let's see how we can help the Bahamian people. It's supposed to be people first, and this is where his heart is. I myself, even though I serve as national chairman of the Bahamas Constitution Party, my interest goes outside of the organization to the health and welfare of the Bahamian people. So when I engage Mr. Paul Rolle in this particular coalition talks, as the other parties came around us, they elected me chairman. I had to go and get permission from my other organization and everything, and it took a while, but it became consistent. There are sitting parliamentarians that haven't even come to our table yet, that I didn't even know. I was humbled, and I was surprised that my name was called as somebody that would make a good chairman for this particular organization of many organizations. So if a sitting parliament who is well known and well respected, regarded, who we deem honest, by the way, somebody who stood up, spoke truth to power, is able to speak to this organization, say that it's viable, and also that Paul himself, I myself, it's a good environment for other organizations to come in, and we disarm them a bit as the men come in, and we try to check the egos and everything. And it's going well so far because it's consistent and it's growing. And I think right now, let me just say this, I think there are two registered, other than the FNM and the PLP, there are only two registered organizations that are not a part of this movement. So I'm trying to quiet the confusion that some may be feeling. Oh, so many parties, there can be 10 or 20 parties out there. We understand that. We understand that, but that's not going to be the case. Even if we don't emerge to be one group, there's going to be a grouping of parties to bring fewer choices.
We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
Yes, Miss Junior Miller, and good morning to your guest.
Hi,
my good colleague on one of the business that we have, each of us have on Paradise Island, Mr. Paul Rolle.
Good morning, Amos.
Yes, I don't know the other gentleman, but God, Yahweh, Father, Yahweh, blessings upon you. And definitely upon the lady of this show. She looked absolutely smashing.
Oh, thank you.
And bashing. Okay, but now this is what I call to say. 9 different parties, okay, going up against. When you look at the Progressive Liberal Party, the first established party in this country as relates to independence, in my humble opinion, all right? And then you see what powers the Free National Movement bring right now. Let me explain what I just been cut short and get to the point, gentlemen. Every last leader, Michelle, knows Amos Junior Miller name, and not one of them have ever picked up the phone in 4 years, minus Mr. Paul Rolle. Minus Mr. Paul Rolle.
Thank you, Amos.
No other leader on the Progressive Liberal Party side, much less any third party side, minus as relates to the Progressive Liberal Party side, the now leader. I, Amos Junior Miller, would like to ask this question. Do you guys think that this country, where Yahweh, Elohim, children live, okay, all right, need anybody to represent them in the global geopolitical scheme of things? Nations need governments, yes. We know who then brings them up and pull them down. Now listen to me what I'm trying to explain to y'all, and then I gone. I am sticking with the present Prime Minister. And this is why, Michelle, because of the disrespect that all of these so-called leaders that I did names who I did not call. If I ain't call your name, I don't count you. Period. Now, for those who names I call, like Mr. Paul Rolle, my good friend on Paradise Island, and you see what they're telling us. But thanks be to who? The one I place my divine call in and being. I don't need no human being to represent me. I go on my knees to my Creator, and then when I come up, the world will know where I been. Later, I'm sticking with this man because this nation was out of order too long. The churches is silent because the nation, as relates to the churches, have turned their backs on Yahweh too long. This is Black History Month as relates to America. Now, I don't ask no one for anything because I know my people. If you ask, you ain't getting it. And if you did not ask, hey, what do you say, Michelle?
So Amos.
So this is what I'm telling you.
Let me ask you
Michelle.
something. Let me ask you something. You're saying you support this existing prime minister because the country was out of order.
No. I didn't say that.
What did you say?
I said, Amos, I have only one vote.
Right.
Now.
And who are you supporting with that one vote?
With my one vote,
Yeah.
Michelle, I am not at liberty to say because my words carry
So I
a
thought you
lot of
just
weight.
said earlier that you support the
No,
current
no, no, no.
leader.
Listen carefully to what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
explain,
said I'm
please.
sticking. No. Support and sticking is two different English language words. I said I am sticking. We're 15 or 14 months away from a general election.
Right.
And the present Prime Minister and team, whether you like him or we like him or they like him or who don't like them, all I know, they're trying to do some stuff, even though we know where we are in space and in time. Y'all have a good day.
Okay, Amos.
Amos.
So, okay, how do y'all respond to what Amos had to say?
Go ahead.
I think all of us know and believe that we have a creator. And I think all of us know, we know the ways, the commands. If we have leaders with his ways, because see, even as a Christian nation, we are willing to support those that abuse us. We are still willing to support those that don't have his ways. We see the pride, we see the arrogance, but we still go and cast our vote there. So if there are leaders that are presenting themselves, whether it's the gentlemen that are part of the organization that we belong to or the organizations that we belong to, it is incumbent upon us to put ourselves forward, show ourselves honest, have integrity. But, at the same time, we have to appreciate that everybody will support the party that they choose if they believe that this is what is best. Then we continue in that. But everybody else that is coming now, you must put yourself forward. Show people what you bring to the table. So that's how I respond to that. If we see that change is needed, let's support those that have not just a better plan now. It ain't about plans, because we always have a good plan every election. We have to see beyond that to persons who have more integrity, willing to work together. If I go back to the clip that you played, I mean, that could be a checklist of, and I agree. I agree that is a checklist, not just to say, oh, we heard it, so let me go follow it, just to say the words. We addressed ego on the list. I did write it down, but I don't have it right here before my eyes. The idea of collaborating. I was doing a checklist in my mind as I listened.
Right.
And I said, Bahamas, there are leaders coming. And if I speak for Mr. Rolle and myself, he's speaking for himself. But if I speak for myself, we have a different spirit and we have a different mind. It's almost like Christian is not enough. I'll just state nationally, I am a Christian, I am a believer. But everybody is stating that. Everybody's going into parliament and saying, oh, bless this hallowed place.
Listen, man.
You see what I'm saying?
Listen, don't get me started on the hypocrisy.
I mean, come on, man. You know what I mean?
I mean, serious hypocrisy.
Big time.
They like to go quoting Bible scripture, but then if you're missing buck into them in the dark in the night, you're wondering, you got an evil twin somewhere.
Okay, then.
Because you can't be the same person who just finished quoting scripture.
Okay, and that's what we face.
Yeah. Well, I know him as well. We work on the beach together, and my legacy is the beach. But later on, if you allow me to, is a couple of things I want to talk about that I want to do with my organization, if you allow me. But your question is leadership. And you said something earlier, Michelle, that's real interesting. I don't know how to break it down to you, but I'll try my best. From majority rule to the date, the first two times on the Linden building, he did wonders. Then I sit back and I wonder why United States only is allow a leader 2 times. After that, things went sour. And the other leaders came in after him, came in sour. So Bahamians has gone through some 48 years or better this, and it's like addiction, because I'm going to talk about that on legalizing the marijuana situation and how I feel about that. But it's like addiction. They don't know anything else but bad treatment. So if we could show them the way they should be treated, the gentleman who talked earlier, where he made sense is give the people the land. The land is owned by the crown for the government, and the people are the government. The Chinese I Group and all these groups success, they give the land away. And when you look at these, look at what happened down in Elutra, Norway, New Zealand. You come in there, Suleiman Pillin said 51-49. That was a good thing he did. But now the people only getting job, they're supposed to buy shares. Shares could be $100, but on the international market, it could be $1,000. So if somebody could put $1,000 up, they got 10,000. That's how you enroll people. The days for $5 and $6 an hour is slavery. Michelle, I don't work for nobody. And if somebody come and try to give me a job like that, I'll get in trouble. But let's stay on point. Michelle want to talk about the leaders. Michelle, we got some great leaders. I don't know if Mr. Huyler want to call some names and kind of fine tune it.
Well, it's actually 12:01, so we got to take a commercial break.
Okay.
So we're going to talk more about that on the other side of the break, and then we'll also take a look at some of your comments. So this is GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Glory 93.9. Today we're talking United, we stand, divided, we fall. And we have representatives of the coalition of 3rd, and 4th, and 5th, and 6th, and 7th, and 8th, and 9th parties. Stay with us. We'll be back after the break.
Ocean blue is the best in seafood, hey, hey. Fresh out the water and affordable too, yeah. We got fish, conch, lobster, shrimp, everything you want. Ocean blue got it. Ocean blue, friendly and clean, best service you ever seen. Ocean blue is the best in seafood, yeah. Fresh out the water and affordable too, yeah. Ocean blue seafood, we are here for you. Ocean blue seafood, no one else will do. Ocean Blue Seafood, located on Burnett Road. Contact us at
Looking for an extraordinary junior high school with caring, qualified staff and affordable tuition? Then come visit us at Elite School of Excellence, an affiliate of First Step Academy. ABECA focused and Ministry of Education approved, we foster discipline, integrity, and wisdom while molding our students for success. Call us at 341-8846 or stop by First Step Academy Schools on Fire Trail and Soldy Roads for more information. Escape from the city life to Bacon Air Beach Resort in Pirateswell, Mayaguana. Relax in one of 16 air-conditioned rooms just steps away from the ocean. Enjoy scrumptious dishes in our waterfront dining room. Sip on a tropical cocktail, or if you must, stay connected with wireless internet. Nestled on one of the most beautiful beaches in the Bahamas, Bacon Air Beach Resort offers a unique vacation experience. For reservations, call 339-3726 or 463-0182.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466. And we are back. Welcome back to... Never mind. I wanted him to come back with the song again, but he forgot. Welcome back to GPS, a little Paradise Shift on Glory 93.9 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. You can go ahead and play it now.
For united we stand, divided we fall. And if our back should ever be against the wall, we'll be together.
We're talking United We Stand, Divided We Fall is the theme of today's show, and I'm talking to Dwayne, Huyler, and Rolle, who represent the coalition of third parties. All of these smaller parties coming together, the Bahamas will be ready to try something other than the two big parties that have traditionally been leading this country. So that's what we're talking about today on the show. And obviously leadership is a major part of this conversation, and quality leadership. And I want to play, well, before I go into the next clip, let me read a couple of your comments. We have a caller coming in, so let's go to the call first, and then we'll go to the comments. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You need to turn your radio down, please. We're getting feedback.
Yeah, I'm moving away from it. Good afternoon to all.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I just want to say that I've been listening and following up. I mean, it was the attention of evolution, enough movement that drew me into really getting into this. But I listened to Lincoln Bain on, I think, the same station with Brody the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very much impressed and enthused in his presentation. I also decided to follow up on his Facebook Live, and listen to a lot of stuff. And I feel that I've also Ali McIntosh too. I'm impressed too with her movement. But the persons, I feel when you're going to decide to have a leader, I mean, and with all these parties that are having their own forces, I mean, it gives me a message that we are actually resting this new regime. We are actually resting the hands of the PLP and FM back into the people's hands. Unity, yes, is strength, and that's what is needed. I know Lincoln Bain might have just come around the corner, and we may feel that he shouldn't be selected, and because y'all were in the forefront for a long time. I heard a lot of talk shows that I don't even listen to anymore who fought and taught us about the Aragonite and different things, and now all of a sudden everybody is marching forward. I mean, if y'all could get together with him and go with him, because this man, it seems as if he's risking his life on the line for the Bahamian people. You understand? I haven't heard, according to what he is saying, that he's receiving threats and stuff. That means he's fighting for the people. You understand? He's actually drawing the crowd. He has a voice. He don't fumble for words. And he don't even know me if he see me, but just following up on him. And I noticed that Bahamians now, because you have a party, you feel that you should vote for this because you've been in existence for a very long time. But what was your contribution? I mean, and he might have taken Aragonite and he might have taken it to another step level and opened the eyes of the Bahamian people. He may have a lot of followers, yes, because he seemed to be a leader. So we all need to get together and find out how we could take down the tiger that is attacking us. We can't, because we've been in power. We've been there a long time, and this person was the originator. But if you were the originator, let the people know that you're the originator. He came around and he turned this whole country, whether you believe it or not, a lot of eyes are open. My own for sure is open.
Okay.
You know, for his presentation. So, and then people are just niching and grinning and stuff. We're not getting anywhere as Bahamian. Everybody wants to be a leader. Some people can't even speak as leaders.
Okay.
You understand? You put them, and I feel, I'm going to go now.
Yeah, we got your point.
I feel all the independent candidates and groups, parties, why don't you all have a talk show and present all the leaders on the talk show? Let's let the people hear what you have for the country.
Yeah.
And I think that would make a good decision as to where people need to go.
Thank you so much for calling. I want to read a text. This text says, "Good morning, Michelle. Some of the people running for political office have already started out with a lie. One person in particular said he was not looking to run. Now he's leading a party and have so many people sitting down waiting for their $100,000. If you have no integrity, I don't want to hear you." Now, that's two different opinions about the same individual. The texter didn't call his name, but we all know that that texter is talking about Lincoln Bain. So, why is there a separation between your coalition and Lincoln's coalition? Is that an intentional decision? Or what's going on with that?
Okay, Michelle, I'll answer that. Listen to me carefully. Me and Lincoln did many things together. Lincoln is a friend, all right? But we dealing with the country, and we keep the doors open to everybody. The Huyler victims, I call Lincoln, and we secure $1 million on our fight, and all of those Huyler victims was happy. So me and Lincoln did a lot of things together, even some of the beach issue. But what we have here is a coalition with different leadership. And Lincoln is welcome to talk with us. As a matter of fact, I'm going to let Mr. Huyler talk about it a little bit, because one or two leaders out of our organization went to the meeting and talked with Lincoln them. But the end of the day is not only the Riga night is needed. I want to deal with some foreign affairs issue to show you what I think is bigger and the natural resources. So Lincoln is doing a brilliant job over there. I'll do a brilliant job over here. Huyler will do a brilliant job over there. And then the next person, and so on, and we bring it together.
Is Lincoln Bain interested in being a part of your coalition?
Well, I'll let Mr. Huyler answer that somewhat.
Well, only Lincoln Bain can answer that. But let me explain the dynamics of this. Mr. Bain does know that we were in conversations as multiple parties for up to 6 months or more. That is known. So I wanted known and to be clear to everybody out there. Mr. Paul Rolle and myself in particular, and Ms. S. Ali McIntosh, before Lincoln put the documentaries out to the public, we all sat around one table. Now that one table is wherever it needs to be, whether it's by Mr. Lincoln Bain, whether it's by Mr. Adrian Francis' office or whatnot. The point being,
Rawson Square,
even out on Rawson Square. So let me slow down and be clear with this. When Mr. Rolle said that we support Lincoln, that's not just words. We physically
stood together at
we
one point.
stood together behind press statements that he initiated, and he would have approached, let's say, S. Ali McIntosh of the Bahamas Constitution Party, of which I am the national chairman. So he would approach for support, and he got that support. So we would go out together into the square when it was only 10 people. The Bahamas Constitution Party would have been 3 or 4 of those people. Mr. Rolle and his organization may have been another 3 or 4. That's how strong the support is for Mr. Bain. We still have not withdrawn our support from him, notwithstanding that he had stated that he was not going to run. He has a right to change his mind, and the public will take their position on how they feel about that. But what I'm not going to allow to happen is that persons perceive that there's some competition going on. If there is any competition, we are not being competitive. We are supportive. And if he calls today and says, listen, I'm having a press statement, we are there. And that has been going on for months and months. As the crowds were swelling, the Bahamas Constitution Party did not miss any of those press statements. So to conclude, when it was only 10 people, now if it's 1,000, every press statement, excluding the last one, because I feel like I have to say that our organization here, the Coalition of Third Parties, we meet on a certain day and time.
Mm-hmm.
When Lincoln Bain and Bishop Walter Henschel established a meeting to go political, it was set for that same day and time.
Mm-hmm.
That was the day and the time that it was set for.
Okay.
We cannot assume why it was so, but it was so.
Understood.
So their organization is a coalition for independence, which is still okay, because you have persons who don't want to be a part of a party. You see what I mean? And they're there. So he's encouraging them, you all come over and, now he did ask third parties. I have to be fair and say that.
Yes.
He did say, well, we see y'all 7 out there trying to get the last 2 parties maybe to join. We see the 7 parties, but why don't you all come over this way to this new move?
Mm-hmm.
And one of our members of this organization went there one time and determined not to continue there, and is still walking with us right now.
Okay.
So that's to clear the air on that.
Understood. Let me read a couple of your comments from Facebook. Let's see. Carolyn says, local government is important, and hopefully in the establishment of a coalition, there will be a strong leadership considerations for such representation, along with those whom are seeking parliamentary positions. She continues, individuals like Mr. Rolle seem well suited to local government to ensure that Parliament is kept aware of the concerns of the citizenry. So in this movement that you guys have, let's say that you are successful. I always forget to give out the phone lines. If you want to call on the show, 828-3543, 828-3543 is the number to call. And the number to text us is 828-2543, 828-2543. So let's say that you are somehow successful, that your coalition is able to capture sufficient seats to at least shake things up, whereby you will become a player as it relates to the governance of this country. How important would it be for you to hear the voices of the people, whether it be through local government or some other mechanism?
Well, I one thing I would credit, all leaders, the last 3 leaders, I wouldn't say they did a brilliant job, but each and one of them might have do something to put themselves in history somewhat. Mr. Ingram bringing local government, and he might have done some things that wasn't so favorable, but that was a good thing. I'll put it to you like this, Michelle. Right now, we're going through a rough time in the economy. And it's why, because we don't need politicians, we need leaders. I'm going to tell you about a small key that have maybe 100 million, maybe 200 million fishing industry a year, and you could throw a rock from one end to the next, because they had a plan and they worked together, which is Spanish Wells. They wanted to be annexed. They didn't want it. They want to be separated from the Bahamas because they don't like the way things going.
Hello.
So,
just a minute, caller. Finish your thought, and then we'll go to the call.
okay, so if they could do it, why can't we? Go ahead.
All right, we have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Pleasure, good morning, Miss Malcolm. How are you?
Great, how are you?
Good, man, good. I'm happy to be a part of your show.
Thank you.
Well, I listen often, but I don't call him. But I had to call today because I have a very good friend that's in there. I'm so proud of him. I'm elated that he is finally in politics, because he has been an avid politician outside of Parliament. But he's now, I hope that he somehow gets the nod to get in there, Mr. Huyler, my good friend. And so I'm interested in what he's talking about in terms of coming together as a coalition and combining resources. There has never been this kind of movement in the Bahamas. Well, I wouldn't say never, because there were other parties that came together to formulate one party. But again, they were never successful, as Mr. Rolle has stated before. But this season of politics, I think, is the very best time And I think it poses the very best possibility for persons, for this kind of coalition to finally make a change in how we see third parties. Before this coalition was formed, I definitely was not going to vote for a third party. I no bones about it. But now that I hear that there is a coalition, that there are persons who are combining their resources. I've known Ali McIntosh since she started the Bahamas Constitution Party. I've seen other people who I was interested in to support as third parties, but they just never really made such an impact. But today, I hope that as other Bahamians are listening and as other people are becoming interested in what's happening, I hope and I pray that we would see the benefits of not choosing any of the other two parties that have been on the scene for years. Even years ago, many years ago, you had the Free PLP, and then the other parties joined up, and then you had the Free National Movement. So if you see the trend there, united we will stand and divided we will fall. If these parties can come together and strengthen themselves to the point where they can make an impact in the electorate and persons can see the benefits of choosing the third party, I think we can be successful this season because of the two parties that have done so much. I don't know what to say because they put so much stress. Listen, COVID-19 was stressful enough. We don't need any additional stress on the government.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been a supporter of one party since 1982. I've never supported any other party.
Wow.
This year, or the next year when it's time to vote, I can't say the same thing. I cannot just willfully go and support that party because of what I've seen over the years.
Okay, caller, we have another caller on the line. So I want to thank you so much for calling, and I don't want to lose this other call. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, hello, caller, and welcome to GPS. Hello, caller, welcome to the show. Caller, are you there? I can see them here on the line.
Yeah.
Hello, caller. Okay, I'm not sure why we're not hearing them. Caller, can you hear me? Okay, hopefully they'll call back because we're not hearing them at the moment. Hopefully they'll call right back. Okay, I want to read a couple of comments. This one is from Clarence Ferguson. It says, "It doesn't matter who Bahamians choose for government as long as we're under this Westminster system. Nothing will change. We need men and women with vision." Okay, here's that caller calling back now. So let's go to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to the GPS.
Hi, good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
Okay, I was reference with the earlier caller, the lady who was called earlier on the talk show.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I would like to say that I feel that with both all these parties that are coming together are good heads, but what we need to do is really join together because in times like these, we need one party. Okay? I mean, it's not that you want to be the leader. It seems like there's a lot of people just want to lead. I need to hear from these independent candidates what they have to offer because this gentleman, Mr. Dwayne, also I know knows to, listening to him on the rally that I went to when I heard what happened on Marathon on the place. I went there and that's what gave me the support. But he has works for the people, and everything they need to make up, despite that he just started with, you got to remember that Peter England was not welcome into the assembly meeting, but because of his voice, he made a difference. So now they need to really have something where they can get him involved. That's what these people are. We shouldn't be thinking about who is Christian because who is he the judge? We need to, this is the struggle for black people right now. We need to try to get him involved because he's doing a good job. He's getting things done with the people, whether you believe it or not. We all have to find some way to put him and get him involved because he right now has the right But when the parties, what do you believe on that?
Okay, thank you so much for calling and giving us your opinion. Appreciate you.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much. All right, I want to play a clip. This clip is from someone who was very dear to me, the late Dr. Miles Monroe. And in this particular clip, he is talking about qualities of what makes a good leader. Let's just go straight to the clip.
Leaders empower others. The goal of your leadership is to make other people great. Empower other people. Let the weak believe they are strong. Let the poor see that they can become rich. Let the lost have a map. That's what leaders do. They give people hope. They make them believe in themselves. Leaders. You cannot wear your values in secret if you are a leader. If someone comes to you and asks you to compromise on your job, you are the problem. If someone asks you to break a law for you to benefit, you are the problem. Because if they would have thought that they could come to you, it's a sign that your character is already in trouble. They're supposed to say, don't even go to her. I know what she ain't gonna do that. They're supposed to say that. But if they came to you already, that means you are living a life that is not loud enough. Leaders declare their values openly. They display their convictions in public. They preach their code of ethics from the mountaintops. Got to protect your purpose.
Okay, here's my thing, right? We have to be very careful in this country not to fall into the trap of selecting someone because they're charismatic and ignoring their code of ethics. We got to be real careful. It is very easy to get caught up, in the wave. But I urge you people, and I'm talking about every single candidate that comes before you, whether it's F&M, PLP, independent coalition of third parties, whoever it is, don't just get caught up in the wave of charisma. Do your homework, research these people, because what is their code of ethics? That's the kind of questions we need to be asking. Anybody can be charismatic. You all know I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. I think people in America were very tired of the status quo. And they were looking for someone who could shake things up. And they voted in this man because of his charisma. But my God, what happened to the ethical question? And one of the things that bothered me was how some people turned a blind eye to all of the wrong. I get it. You support the man's policy. That's fine. But how can you ignore a person's code of ethics simply because they're charismatic? We got to be careful, people. Gentlemen, what do you say?
You couldn't say it no better. Michelle, this is why we take the approach, where is it? We, as maybe 7 different political parties, every leader is going to be judged by their character and what they go there and do and how they present themselves to the people. And like you said before, so Winston Churchill said after World War I and II, he says, what we could do together, we could never do apart. Then the president of the United States made a statement too. He said, united we stand and divided we fall. So unity is key. So we hope that everybody out there could come together and we do it the way it should be done. Now, you talk about the colonial system, all right? That's
the Westminster system.
The Westminster system. That's kind of difficult to change. Michelle, my major is foreign affairs. When it comes to that area, we got some lawyers. We talking to the Paul Moss and other people. But I understand it somewhat, and I'm going to give you a prime example the way we could somehow deviate from it a bit. During the gambling referendum, the leader did a referendum, and that's the way you could get out of Parliament. Most everything we do, we would go to the people in a form of referendum. You want to answer the call?
All right, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Good morning. Afternoon.
Very good show.
Thank you.
I heard Mr. Campbell said, that they are going to have convention and the leaders will be selected from the convention. But I would advise them to vet every person who is coming into their organization. And I believe that it will make a difference in the upcoming general election if they could come together as one body. I do believe that. But vet their people who are coming, who's going to be a part of them, and may the best man wins at the convention. God bless you all.
All right. Thank you so much for calling.
That was sweet.
Yeah, very good contribution.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got to take another break. When we come back, it'll be the last half hour of the show. And we're going to continue this conversation. I'm talking to gentlemen who are members of the coalition of third parties. And they're talking about coming together. United we stand, divided we fall is the name of the show. Coming together to try to provide a viable third option for Bahamian people. Because that's all I keep hearing, People are really not impressed with any of the two major parties. But their thing is, but we don't have a viable third option. So these gentlemen are here saying, okay, maybe you should take a look at us. We're talking about that, and we're going to continue talking about it on the other side of the break. So stay with us. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Dress, hats off, looking like I walked out of catalog. Everybody wanna know where I got it from. Catwalk, 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 boutique, where we make fashion statements. Catwalk, boutique, where we make fashion statements.
For the latest styles in women's clothing and accessories, visit Catwalk Boutique on Robertson Road East at the Helron Plaza. At Catwalk Boutique, we make fashion statements.
Want to look your best and feel even better? Visit J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa for the ultimate beauty, body, and anti-aging treatments, offering custom colors, haircuts, vegan anti-freeze treatments, silk blowouts, natural and acrylic nails, unisex pedicures, facials and massages, all waxing services, and microcurrent therapies for anti-aging and body sculpting. J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madeira Street, telephone 326-7863. At the Gladstone Road Farmers Market, we provide you with the freshest produce, eggs, meat, and more. But what you don't see makes a difference too, like the care our farmers put into growing and raising that food for your family, the fewer miles that food travels from the farm to your plate, and the dollars you are keeping in our local community. Our open-air market is every Friday and Saturday. Come visit us, and be sure to look for the GPS-endorsed flyer. COVID-19 has affected all of us, but it won't stop us from serving you with a smile, even under the mask. Gladstone Road Farmers Market, home of fresh.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
Leaders mentor their successors. This is the ultimate measure of a leader, is who do you leave behind that's greater than you. Leaders focus on the future, and therefore they prepare people to protect what they built. That's what a mentor is all about. A mentor is to preserve what you built. A mentor is to take what you started to the next level. A true mentor will protect what you put your life into. This is very rare, but this is what true leaders do. They prepare their replacement.
I need some binoculars to try and find one of them leaders that the late Pastor Osmond was talking about. Because these fellas ain't know nothing about preparing no successor. They trying every day, but in their power to hold on to the power.
I hear a couple of them on bombs back.
They ain't trying to give up nothing. The only thing what can separate them from their power is death. I mean, they do it everything. Everything that we see is all about political posturing. They just try to hold on to power. Whether that means hurting the people, they don't care as long as I can hold on to this power. So, when you talk about preparing your successor and mentoring, what is your coalition's approach to that?
Well, okay, because it's roughly new, we're talking about months as a collective. I'll have to step outside the coalition and utilize the organization that I belong to. The individual organization is the Bahamas Constitution Party, whose leader is Sherelle Ali McIntosh.
Right.
Deputy leader Cornelius McKinney. Now, I serve as national chairman, Dwayne Huyler. So my mentor is Sherelle Ali McIntosh.
It's interesting that you would say that, because I have a text here that says, if a woman is decided to be leader of their grouping, would that be a problem for them? How do they feel about women leaders? You following a woman leader right now?
Well, I'm following a woman leader right now, and I wouldn't want any other leader. The next to Sherelle Ali McIntosh, I'll go with Paul Rolle, who sits right here with me, because the quality, we're discussing qualities here today, and organizational structure and the viability of an organization that may come together to remove what is really oppressing the Bahamian people. So I'm speaking to mentorship. Everything that Pastor Miles spoke to, who was also my pastor as well. I was baptized by Richard Pinder.
Okay.
So both of them are also my pastors. They've passed on now, but they still live on, of course. So I am mentored. I am under mentorship. Sherelle Ali McIntosh has been mentoring persons, has been empowering others. Pastor Miles says a true leader will empower others. Sherelle Ali McIntosh, S. Ali McIntosh, has been empowering other individuals and organizations. This coalition that we are speaking of right now, let's say lending me, because I'm a chairman of another organization. I just happen to be elected chairman of the coalition of all of the groupings. It's specifically related to the way of thinking that we have, the spirit that we have consistently. And I can tell you that it is opposite to what is in power right now. It is diametrically opposed
Honest to God.
to what is in power right now. You spoke to closed-mindedness and egotism. Well, when you can share power, you don't have a problem coming around a table with other individuals to get a better result. That's leadership. We're talking about unity-based leadership as opposed to self-empowering leadership. If we analyze what we are experiencing under the present regimes, it is really, you're talking about politics, you got to go beyond politics, and that's why I like the fact that you address character. How are we going to escape the grip of what it is that we're experiencing unless we invite others or welcome others that are more collaborative? Let's go to New Zealand, what they spoke of, the leader there, collaborative, open-minded. Look at these words, and references, open-minded. We do not have an open-minded system. As a matter of fact, I have to speak to this specific situation where even in a pandemic, we have leadership that would not meet with doctors. In the pandemic, months of waiting, not to discuss money, to discuss medical issues. We have I didn't intend to say it, but
no, I'm glad you did.
Yeah, not this is not political slander. We're talking about a situation here now. So I really don't mean to be slinging mud, but I mean the public has to examine if you are supporting a leader and a party who is a doctor but would not meet with doctors for months. And again, not related to money. We're talking about public safety. This is egregious. Nurses, before the nurses approached for money, that was when they had no other choice. That was after 6 to 8 months. Then yes, they said, well, the back pay, we're really going to need that now. But that was at the end of the situation. At the beginning of the pandemic, we have the lead nurse, the head of the nurses union, stating that we've been trying to get a meeting with the prime minister for months. Mm-hmm. How do you have a nurse come on public media and say we have no other choice? They're not troublemakers. They are public servants. They live that out. They only want to see people get better. But they can't get a meeting. Your nurses cannot get a meeting with you for 2 to 3 months in a health crisis worldwide. That should be rejected. And if you don't have opposition that wouldn't do a sit out and shut down parliament, then you don't have the right opposition. Mm. So but now it's hand and fist now. So the people need to understand that we really only have one government. 2 parties, one government, correct, one system. Correct. The system needs to be changed, but it cannot be changed overnight. The regimes need to be changed, but it cannot be changed overnight. But if we try it torn apart and separated, we don't know when we will see a brighter day. But if we come together in unity and solidarity, then that day can be experienced, fast-forwarded, fast-tracked. We can experience that very soon if we welcome change.
Do you think that this is the closest that you will ever get, or I shouldn't say ever get, but this is the closest you've ever been to shaking up the status quo?
Yes.
Considering
This is the closest we've ever been. And what we're experiencing right now, it occurred in 2010 in Great Britain. So the very kingdom that we are part of right now, the people of Great Britain determined that we are only going to see change if we see the smaller groups come together. And they achieved coalition and they achieved change through regime change and smaller parties coming together. So this is possible. This is doable. But we need the people's support.
Okay. Let me read a couple of comments and texts. This one is from Oswald Rolle. He says, Michelle, a lot of people don't understand. What a lot of people don't understand is not everybody in front is a leader. Interesting. Okay. This is a question coming in from Dorinda. She says, would Mr. Paul want groups to come together and vote as a leader or come together under his leadership?
Well, you got some more comments? Or
no, go ahead. Answer that one.
Yes, I don't mind answering that. No. I like the question. All right. Now, if you will listen carefully, you heard Mr. Huyler. His PR is good. His vocab is large, and he break it down real good. I said today, if a leader like what Michelle's saying, somebody reputable and willing to go, I could step back. I even don't have to be a candidate. It's not about me. Keep your eyes on the prize. As I got some kids, they living in, I want them to come home. I don't want them to get shot in the street, and I want them to have something. So it's not about me. Keep your eyes on the prize. No, don't join me. Join the people of the Bahamas.
Okay. Stacy Smith is asking a question. She says, referendum for everything? That's absurd. Why will we put a party in power who continues to come to us? If that's the case, it's best not to have a government and simply form a referendum committee. How do you gentlemen respond?
Okay, I'll respond to that, and then Mr. Huyler said he want to respond to that.
Okay.
What I said, if something of some significance comes up, we knows how. Take for instance, something was tabled in Parliament about the Reagan night. Michael Pine from Freeport tabled it. But how much people second it? There was only one person. Because the opposition and the party in power, they stand the same. So something of that significant, we do a referendum. Not everything, but most people would like it because it's a democratic process, meaning that you have a say.
Yeah, just briefly, and to repeat, not everything can come to referendum, and we understand the question. It is a very good question. Will you go to referendum for everything? No, it's very expensive in money and in time. So no, we believe that the individual plans, platforms, today really wasn't about policy issues. We can discuss that going forward. And we have a lot of bright minds bringing policy decisions, new directions. As they come to the table, we will determine what is receptive to the Bahamian public, because then too, we are consultative, so we can have an idea just by the process of public consultation. So if you're doing your job properly, you know the general direction that the people want to go. You don't drag them down the street into situations they don't want to be in. No. And that is what we experience. We are really bullied into things, and it's my way or the highway. That's the type of leadership that the Bahamas has been under. And if I could touch on the fact that even the international community is aware of this. They are watching how we are led, and the financial sector in particular. Notice that we keep dropping in ratings to the point where we are now at junk status. We've been in junk status for about 3 years, and we dropped one stage below junk status. That's not the Bahamas that we knew and love, and that's not the best Bahamas. Yeah. So the new Bahamas, with new leadership, visionary leadership that is collaborative, unified, hearing the people. The word for it is amenable. Right. Amenable is just open to suggestions and listening to what people are saying, and easily to be agreed with and coming to the table together. That's amenable. We haven't seen that for over 20 years in the Bahamas. We've seen the opposite, where right now the teachers union, I wouldn't, say choose sides or whatnot, but how do you have the children in the midst of a fight between government, teachers, and there's disagreement, no conversation, meetings. You understand what I mean? That should not be. You have to listen to your leaders, listen to your specialists, just listen to the people.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to respond to the school situation. What's going on is that I think the minister is doing a brilliant job. See, I'm not a F&M, I'm not a PLP. But what he is hit with this pandemic, with the parents and how fragile our kids is, there's only so much he could do. But that's a very good point. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to read some texts and a couple of your Facebook comments. So let's see. This text says, "Good morning, Michelle. Jim Jones was charismatic, full of sweet talk, said everything gullible people wanted to hear. When you could sit on a live feed with a gun, try to undermine others, do secret recordings, and God knows what else. Most Bahamians are very gullible. They are moved by sweet words, and most are not forward thinkers. What do you do as a leader when no one is looking?" That's a text, okay? We have a couple of comments I want to get in here on Facebook. This one says, this is from Stacy. Stacy says, "Dr. Minister's arrogance is what has single-handedly destroyed the Free National Movement, period." Siobhan says, "The question, Michelle Malcolm, is, are the masses ready for change? Reimagine political structure in the Bahamas. I would love to see a strategically planned debate by all parties." You and me both, Siobhan. The question is, though, how you going to get them to the table? Because it has worked for them not to debate issues. Okay? They don't want to debate the issues.
No.
So they ain't coming to the table.
Let me just say briefly, as chairman of the Bahamas Constitution Party, they do private debates that the public is not even aware of. For example, we debated them at the University of the Bahamas. No media allowed.
That's right.
no recordings allowed.
Wow.
And in that debate, it was exposed that the two major parties do intend to take the Bahamas into the World Trade Organization, but they wouldn't say that publicly.
Yeah.
I'm just giving the example. And leaders like our position is we are not ready, definitely not within the next 10 years, out of the question. We're not ready for it. And one specific reason, to join, you have to give every other nation in the world what is called most favored nation status. The same provisions and opportunity for Bahamians you have to give to every nation in the world.
Yeah.
I'll leave it there.
This current leader has gone on record to say that, he's a proponent of the one world order. He's said it on record. We have it on tape. This is not my opinion. We have it on tape. And then when you see them, I just read the article with D. Aguilar talking about how they are considering whether they're going to follow the example of other nations, require that you have to have a COVID vaccine to travel in your own country.
Oh, no.
Or if you travel abroad to come back home.
Oh, no. We're going to fight for that.
People, if y'all don't see what's going on, y'all ain't want to see it.
That's right.
They are trying to set us up for a one world government system. And this is just setting up the system. People, stop snoring. Wake up.
Okay.
If you are not satisfied with the direction that this crew going in, you have a choice.
Have an option.
You have options.
You have options.
But it can't be enough that you sit back and complain and grumble in your home. You're so spineless, you ain't willing to stand up and say enough is enough, wrong is wrong, and right is right. But all you're happy to do is complain secretly in your home, whispering because you're scared somebody can hear you. How you expect to make a difference? How you expect change to come in if you are not willing to roll up your sleeves and get in the fight?
That's all right. Michelle, what I want to say is this, and I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. All right? Jesus is the answer for the world today. But I want the Bahamian public to know this election will determine if the Bahamas exists. We are in debt. No money is coming. Okay? We need a sense of direction. Michelle, I are bigger in foreign affairs. Michelle, where we sit geographically in our proximity, worth billions of dollars, but if you don't have the kind of knowledge that I have and many other people in this area, we're not collecting it. Michelle, we got $800 million a year on our airspace. Michelle, there's 4 major passage. If you come through Panama Canal, every ship got to pay $5,000, $10,000, and they got thousands of ships. Between Cricket Island and Auckland, the ships pass, and we don't get nothing. We don't get nothing from our airspace. And where we sit geographically is key. Secondly, Michelle, trade is key. The 2 biggest nations in the world is America and China. So they're fighting over trade. Okay, there's a war going on over trade. So I would say that my position going to be, I want all Bahamians benefit from the policies that the President of the United States, Mr. Joe Biden, and Ms. Kamala Harris got in place a road to citizenship. Now, a lot of Bahamians don't want to be citizens, but I think every Bahamian should be able to travel, to trade. A grandmother could have a $500, and if she could go buy her stuff and bring it back, she could maybe make $1,000 or $2,000. This is trade, and there's too much people that can't travel. So one of my policies is I got lawyers, immigration lawyers. I'll work with many people for traveling to grow my economy. Last but not least, we could talk about this another time. I want to talk about my constituency, which is Bimini, my home. It's like a life of a salmon. He swim from up in Alaska in a little lake, and he goes way down in the Atlantic Ocean. And when it's time for them to give bite, they fight their way back up against the stream and the grizzlies, but they go home. So I get calls in Bimini that the dock in Bimini is falling down, cars is going overboard, the boats are being broke up, and also people are getting hurt. So I'm asking the honorable leader, I think it's Bakisha Packer, to look into my people. Also, the resort built a dock going out in the ocean, and because of that, it interfere with nature. During the winter, you have boat lifts, and by the summer, the beach come back. Now, the north side, which is a clean, pristine beach, is all boulders. And then the ecosystem, people, land, and house on the north side is going in the water. Last but not least, me and some of my cousins had to stop the resort from cutting the road to go from the ocean to the bank area. Please address these issues, or I gotta have to summons my people to maybe not allow you to come in my.
You see how this man come on my show to campaign?
And then listen.
No, man, we're running out of time. Let's hear from Mr. Huyler.
But I want my people to support this show. This is why I take the opportunity, because Michelle is a beautiful person. Thank you.
All right, Huyler.
Well, I believe that we all belong to individual parties, but let me just demonstrate. Looking beyond party, I believe that the most significant political figure in the Bahamas right now is Mr. Halson Moultrie, because of the position that he took against the things that we spoke of on this show. Divisive, let's just say my way or the highway. He resigned from the FNM. If he had resigned from being the speaker, we all understand that we would have had to go on to election. Like, just based on that alone. You cannot not have a speaker of the house, and then you cannot just vote another one in or place another one in. I'm saying that he cited Article 72 of the Constitution, and I'm speaking to the future Bahamas now. The primary reason that Mr. Moultrie resigned is because he said there's no separation of powers. There's something called the doctrine of separation of powers, whereby the legislative is under its own autonomy. The executive, which the prime minister is a part of, is under its own autonomy. But you shouldn't have a situation, as he said, where the executive is controlling everything. In other words, he did not have a free hand. That's the check and balance. He's supposed to be able to keep the prime minister in check, but he was unable to, even in these particular times that we're in right now. So that's why I say that even if, now imagine now, like I said, I'm a part of a party, we're running candidates, possibly Nassau Village, but Nassau Village, if they choose to support Halson Moultrie, if Halson Moultrie goes back, if he desires to, and if he agrees to go back into that parliament, that's the beginning of a new Bahamas with an independent thinking gentleman that understands where the Bahamas needs to go and keep the egos in check by any leader that comes in.
Okay, what I want to say is that people like Mr. Halson Moultrie, he used to be the lawyers for the beach vendors, so I know him well. We're interested in talking to him. Don't let's forget the hero, Mr. Michael Pine. He stood up and he said to Mr. Minnis, you are no better than the PLP. We talk about the PLP. Now, what about us? What about us? And he did it several different times. People like them, we are very interested in leadership role. Am I correct, Mr. Huyler?
You're correct. And I have to say, Mr. Reese Chipman, the champion for the Centerville constituency, he is collaborative. He is speaking. I'm not going to say he's inside this group, but he influences this group. And we sat around the table with him discussing how there could be a collaboration between individuals. So
Okay.
his mind is there also.
Time is gone, gentlemen. Time is gone. We got to wrap this thing up. I want to thank you both for being a part of the show today. I'm going to end with this comment from Sarah. It says, hi, Michelle. I've tried time and time again to convince family and friends to think outside the box when it comes to the FNM and PLP. The majority of them are so dogmatic in their views that my conclusion is the masses are the ones that are holding us all hostage. That's some serious food for thought.
Interesting.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of the show today. I really appreciate you. And thank you to everyone who tuned in,
Thank you.
whether via radio or Facebook or to the TuneIn app or now streaming on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks to all of my sponsors who made today's show possible, especially my sponsors who make me look cute every day. JD Edwards Salon and Spa in the Madeira Shopping Plaza.
You do a good job. You look good.
Thank you. Chevette Williamson Jewelry and, of course, Bahari Bahamas. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring the show. We need sponsors, y'all. So if you have a service or product that you would like to advertise, we're better than to do it with us. This audience is large and growing, and we welcome you. WhatsApp us at 805-6430, 805-6430 if you'd like to advertise on this show. I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for joining us on GPS Global Paradigm Shift. Tomorrow is open line, y'all. The week that was, and oh my God, do we have a lot to talk about. I'll see you guys tomorrow.